When Katt Williams sat down on Club Shay Shay, most people expected another viral interview.
Years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made all lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network?
What they got instead was a grenade. Subscribe my channel and press the bell icon to get daily updates. In a conversation that generated millions of views and dominated social media for weeks, Katt didn't just call out individual celebrities. He challenged the very system that many believe controls who rises, who falls, and who gets protected inside the entertainment industry. According to Katt, there is an inner circle operating behind the scenes, a network of relationships, favors, and influence that determines opportunities long before the public ever sees them. For supporters, Katt became a truth-teller exposing the industry's hidden rules. For critics, he became another celebrity making explosive accusations without providing enough evidence. But regardless of where you stand, one thing is undeniable. The interview started a conversation Hollywood couldn't ignore. And what if that interview wasn't just another celebrity rant? What if it was the opening shot in a larger war over transparency, influence, and control? Today, we're breaking down the strategy behind Katt Williams' claims and why his message continues to resonate months after the headlines faded. One of the most controversial themes in Katt Williams' commentary is his distinction between what he sees as industry-made success and organic success. In Katt's view, there are 2 paths to the top. The first path belongs to people who spend years grinding through clubs, small venues, rejection, and obscurity before eventually earning recognition. The second path, according to Katt, belongs to individuals who appear to receive unusually rapid support, opportunities, and promotion from powerful industry figures. This idea became central to his criticism of several high-profile entertainers. Now, to be clear, Katt's perspective is his own opinion, and many of the people he discusses would strongly disagree with his characterization. But what's interesting isn't simply who he's talking about. It's the framework he's presenting. He's asking audiences to examine how success is created, who gets opportunities, who receives major backing, who gets multiple chances after failure, and who seems to have every door opened for them. These questions have fueled debates far beyond comedy. The entertainment industry has always been filled with discussions about gatekeepers, connections, and access. Katt's argument is that talent alone isn't always the deciding factor. Whether audiences agree or disagree, the reason this message resonates is because it taps into something people already suspect: that the game may not be as fair as it appears. Perhaps the most fascinating part of Katt Williams' narrative isn't who he names. It's what he says keeps others from speaking. Throughout various interviews, Katt has suggested that leverage, not talent, is one of the most powerful currencies in entertainment. According to this perspective, careers are built not only through skill and performance, but also through relationships, obligations, favors, and information. The concept isn't unique to Hollywood. In every major industry, powerful networks exist. But Katt argues that entertainment takes this dynamic to another level. His suggestion is that many people remain silent because they have too much to lose. Future opportunities, business relationships, access, reputation, influence. Whether through formal agreements, professional obligations, or simple self-preservation, the result can be the same. People stay quiet. And this is where Katt positions himself differently. His supporters argue that he has reached a point where he is largely independent. He doesn't rely on the same approval systems that younger entertainers might need. He owns his voice. He controls his platform. And because of that, he believes he can say things others won't. Of course, critics would argue that this narrative can also serve as a shield against scrutiny. If someone presents themselves as the only person willing to tell the truth, it can make disagreement appear suspicious. That's why the real question isn't whether Katt is fearless. The real question is whether his claims can withstand examination. What makes this conversation larger than Katt Williams is that he's not the only person questioning how power operates in entertainment. Over the past few years, we've witnessed a growing trend of public figures discussing issues that were once considered untouchable. High-profile investigations, industry controversies, former insiders speaking out. Actors, musicians, comedians, and executives all finding themselves under greater public scrutiny. Again, every situation is different. Each case has its own facts, allegations, and legal realities. But the pattern is difficult to ignore. Audiences appear less willing than ever to accept carefully managed narratives at face value. Social media has changed the balance of power. Independent platforms have changed the balance of power. Podcasts have changed the balance of power. And figures like Katt Williams have become symbols of a broader shift. A shift where traditional gatekeepers no longer control every conversation. Whether his claims prove accurate or not, Katt tapped into a growing appetite for transparency. People want explanations. People want accountability. And perhaps most importantly, people want to know what's happening behind the curtain. So where does that leave Katt Williams? Is he exposing truths that powerful people would rather keep hidden? Or is he simply creating controversy that generates attention and headlines? That's the question dividing audiences right now. Supporters see a man risking relationships to speak openly. Critics see someone making explosive allegations that demand stronger proof. Maybe the truth lies somewhere in the middle. But one thing is certain. The conversation Katt started isn't going away. Because this debate was never just about one comedian. It's about trust. It's about power. And it's about whether the public is finally pulling back the curtain on how influence really works in Hollywood. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Katt Williams is exposing a system that needs to be challenged? Or do you think he's burning bridges and creating chaos for the sake of attention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we're going deeper into the stories behind the headlines.